Greetings, lovely people, and welcome to Fast Track Thoughts, where today we'll be discussing my initial thoughts and impressions of Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 1, The Ties That Grind. So, of course, getting straight into this is full spoiler territory. I'm not going to be going into as much detail into, specific plot elements or anything like that as I would in a typical Fast Track review. The way that thoughts work, if you are new to the channel, is that I just kind of give my first impression and just what I, generally think about whatever piece of media I've consumed. I do it a lot more for TV series and, I do plan on doing a full season review at some point in the future once I've actually watched it through, but for now, thoughts videos for each individual episode, and yeah, spoilers ahead, as this is your final warning. Peacemaker Season 2 is actually, off to a really good start. I've put off watching it for a little while, but, after watching Superman, I was very much on board. I also need to start watching Creature Commandos now I think about it, but yeah, Peacemaker Season 2 is definitively DCU, the current DC movie lineup, which puts it right in line with Creature Commandos, right in line with Superman, Supergirl when that comes out, and, every other future thing, Clayface, etc. But, yeah, it does a very interesting thing. So, obviously, Peacemaker Season 1 was very much set and placed within the world of the DCEU, the previous universe, the one that started with Man of Steel and ended with, I guess, The Flash? Was that the final film in that, or was it like Blue Beetle or something random like that? I don't know. In any case, that did have a partial cameo from the Justice League from the DCEU, so Superman, Aquaman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Cyborg, and The Flash. That obviously has to be overwritten for this to exist in DCU, and they definitively say DCU in this. In the, previously on the DCU, they specify that it is definitely part of this current universe and not part of the previous franchise, however. But they have to do some very interesting things. They have to change some of the jokes made in last season, relating to, I believe it's Aquaman, and it gets changed to Green Lantern in this. And then the cameo from the Justice League gets replaced with the Justice Gang. So, Mr. Terrific, Hawkgirl, Green Lantern, Superman, and Supergirl. So that is the lineup that we have here for the Super Gang, which just makes sense. It's what we kind of see in Superman. It makes sense that it would be the 3 definitive Justice Gang members, not yet including Morpho, because that was obviously set prior, and then Superman and Supergirl are still active at this point, so it makes sense to include them. But yeah, just off the bat, really interesting decision to, basically say, oh yeah, Season 1 technically happened, but slight changes. It really works into, what we're going to get into with the actual multiverse ness of this. And yeah, so the key things from this I just want to discuss and give my thoughts on are, obviously, Chris, Peacemaker, is still kind of struggling with the fact that, he killed his father, but is, ready to be a real hero and actually, put some of his past trauma behind him in order to become an actual good person. Something that, he kind of understands now that he just wasn't in the past despite everything. And that does start with him trying to actually become part of the Justice Gang. He goes for an audition. Maxwell Lord's there along with Hawkgirl and Guy Gardner. And it goes poorly due to Guy kind of messing up the audio and stuff. But yeah, it really shows how, superhero teams right now in the DCU are very much money first and everything. It really does show how stingy everything ends up being. We also get what I believe is a cameo from March Harriet, which is a very odd decision. Essentially a vaguely stripper-dressed rabbit girl comes out of the audition crying, and while it's not classic March Harriet with, the brown and the, more Alice in Wonderland inspired get-up, it very much still fits the general idea of what March Harriet looks like, which I find very interesting that they would just kind of throw that out there. That is such a random cut, and I have no idea if it is intended to be March Harriet, but it's just a very fun little cameo there. But yeah, that goes poorly, and Chris does, what Chris does. He goes ahead, gets high, gets drunk, and has an orgy that he's not involved in. It's just happening at his house. But while, in his drug-addled state, he's already previously discovered an alternate universe within his pocket dimension where his armory is, and decides he's going to go and explore, that place. So he does. He finds his father to still be alive, in that universe. And he also finds out his brother's still alive. And together they are the top trio. They are 3 different superheroes, or, at this point we believe them to be superheroes. I know a few spoilers ahead for future episodes, so I'm not too confident they are going to be good guys. But in any case, Chris spends some time with his family, and then is confronted by that universe's Peacemaker, who he subsequently kills. And that is already just jumping in at the deep end in terms of multiversal shenanigans. Straight off the bat, the first character seemingly to discover an actual alternate dimension almost instantly just kills his, alternate universe self. That is insane. And it is in self-defense. Like, our main Peacemaker didn't mean to do it. It was literally because he was going to be killed by the alternate universe Peacemaker. So he activated the guy's jetpack, launched him into a spike. That's what kills him. And it's not necessarily Chris doing it on purpose. But it is very interesting that that's how we're starting out the, multiverse aspect of the DCU, is immediately just being like, not only are we rewriting elements of the DCEU to work within the DCU, we are also just going to straight up just murder a different universal character, which definitely an interesting choice. But honestly, it works so well. And as I said up front, like, I think this series is looking like it's going to be great. The first season was excellent. I really enjoyed Peacemaker Season 1. I do need to rewatch it just so I have a better understanding of what exactly has happened, because there is a nice recap at the start of episode 1. I say that's where we get some of the retcons and stuff. But the details, I do kind of want to revisit with Season 1. I might even do a full Season 1 review at some point if I end up doing that. But yeah, I probably need to rewatch Season 1 and then come back to watching episode 2 of Season 2. I think that's probably a smart way of doing it for me. But in any case, this is a really fun episode. I really enjoyed it. It's annoying that you have to either have HBO Max or you have to have Now TV if you're in the US or in Europe. I don't know about anywhere else. I have no clue how Australians are watching it, but or I guess torrent. But I'm not going to advocate for that. But yeah, very much annoying that I have to have Now TV to watch this. That's my biggest nitpick, is that when Season 1 came out, I could watch that because of, I don't remember what it was. I was able to watch that on Channel 4 or something. With Peacemaker Season 2, not on there. It's on Now TV because it's HBO Max. So it's on Sky in the UK, I guess, but I don't have Sky TV because who has TV nowadays? This is becoming an off-topic ramble, but in any case, I'm very excited for the rest of this season. I am going to be trying to, as I watch the episodes, I'm going to make these thoughts videos, and as I say, I'll make a full review of the season once I complete it. And yeah, honestly, I'm so happy with the way that the current DC movie franchise, universe, whatever, is going. Like, DCU legitimately works so well. It's weird calling it the DCU. I feel like DCCU might work a bit better, like DC Cinematic Universe, because the old one was the DCEU, the DC Extended Universe. So having it be DCU, just you, DC Universe, I don't know. It doesn't work for me, but I understand they don't want to be too close to the MCU and stuff. In any case, with all that rambling, with all that random, just splurge of random things that I'm thinking about, I think that's really everything I wanted to talk about, because, as I say, this isn't as detailed, this isn't as thought through. I don't even have notes. I'm going to write notes for the review, but I don't have any notes here. I just have a few things I wanted to talk about. But, yeah, there we go. That is Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 1, The Ties That Grind. I'm very, very interested to see where it goes. And the whole multiverse aspect of it is really fun. I'm looking forward to just seeing more of this alternate universe, seeing what the differences are. as well as, I didn't mention it really, but there is some stuff going on with Rick Flag Sr., just in terms of connecting the dots between the Suicide Squad, Peacemaker Season 1, Superman, like, just connecting everything together. And, of course, Creature Commandos, though I haven't seen it, because that also has Rick Flag Sr., but yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on, and I'm very excited to see more of it. So, with that being said, that's going to be it from me. So, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to like it, subscribe if you're new to it, and ring the bell so you never miss upload. Of course, come all your thoughts and feelings on Season 2 of Peacemaker so far. I don't mind seeing spoilers. I've always seen a few because I'm part of the Peacemaker subreddit. But, yeah, tell me your thoughts and feelings below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
It's been a long week. I feel like I could use a vacation. I can hardly think. It's like the worst